Welcome to the IVM Podcast Network.
The Rotormouth podcast is an IVM production, and if you enjoyed this episode, you can also check out the other awesome shows like IVM Likes, a show where you get your weekly dose of pop culture recommendations, whether it's books, movies, or television shows.
Welcome to the Rotormouth podcast. I'm Tushar.
Hi, this is Sanjeev.
Sanjeev, how was your commute today? I always ask you this. I want to ask you today because...
Very breezy and smooth, no traffic.
Really? Not underwater?
Nothing underwater.
You didn't have to use snorkeling gear to get here?
Absolutely not. I don't know why you scared us in the first place.
Well, I needed to make sure because I'm coming from further down than you guys.
Yeah, but you made it sound like car is underwater right now.
It was yesterday, but anyway, looks like it isn't now because I came from car subway as well. No problems.
So we have a first today.
We do have a first today. I think this is a very special episode for us because we have, for the first time, we have a guest on our show. Urmil Shah, you are the co-founder of Carnot.
Yes.
Welcome to the show. I hope you're reasonably dry as well.
I am. I was lucky enough to hop in here in an Uber, so I managed to stay quite dry. Drop me right across the road. So thanks for having me over.
Well, thank you for coming. And okay, so let me give our listeners some background. You create a device called the Carnot. So the Carnot device, which you have very kindly provided to me for review, is a little thing that connects to the onboard data port, the OBD2 port.
That's
Is that
right.
what it's called?
The onboard diagnostics port.
Diagnostics
OBD.
port, right. So most modern cars, since the year 2000?
2008. 2008 in India, 96 globally.
Right. So 96 globally, 2008 in India. Most cars have this port. You'll typically find it in a hidden location below your steering wheel or whatever.
That's right.
You can plug this device into it and it does what?
So this is the same port that your mechanic plugs his laptop into when you take it in for servicing for a quick diagnostics check. So yeah, like you said, think of this as a Fitbit for your car. There's a device and then there's a phone app. You plug the device into the OBD port. It'll stream all kinds of information from your car to the app, and from your phone app you'll be able to track your car, get alerts for security related issues. Say if your car overspeeds, your phone will immediately ring saying, hey, your car crossed the set speed limit. Similarly, you'll get alerts for towing. So as car owners, we've all got this horror story where you parked your car on the road, it's raining, they've towed your car, marked something in chalk, and obviously that chalk wears off in the rain, and then you need to go asking the watchman around where your car has been towed to. So here we'll alert you the moment your car gets towed, and we'll also tell you where it's been towed to.
And you'll also pay the fine as well?
No, unfortunately not.
No, the VCs didn't like that idea.
Never thought to bounce it off them. So yeah, it'll give you security alerts for all kinds of things, overspeeding, towing, and even accidents. Other than that, we'll also help you monitor the performance and health of your car. So if there's any issue with your engine, battery or brakes, we'll let you know on the phone. And also we'll help you know things like your car's mileage. We'll give you a drive score at the end of every trip, which is indicative of how well or badly you drive. And we'll also give you customized feedback on how it is that you can drive better, drive in a more fuel efficient manner, and also save on money.
So, Urmil, a brief about how you guys came together. How did this idea come about? Were you guys always planning to make something like this?
Sure. So it's quite interesting. The story dates back to our days on campus. Back then, we were part of this team called IIT Bombay Racing. We were a group of auto enthusiasts, and we used to design and build electric race cars. So these were single-seater drivable race cars, and we used to take it to the Silverstone circuit in the UK every year for a competition called Formula Student.
Okay.
So we were always passionate about building things, passionate about hands-on engineering, and back then for our cars we developed systems that could help us monitor the car from the pit lane to be able to know that the race car is operating at its peak. And when we thought of that, we realized that, hey, our car's out there on the road. It's ironically the most expensive tech gadget, but it's got even lesser consumer tech than that 10,000 rupee Micromax phone. It's, issues on the car still flash at you through that red check engine light. It could be 1 in 5,000 things that could be wrong with your car, but you wouldn't know which. Our cars still get towed and vandalized, and there's nothing you can do about it. There's no easy way for us to stay in touch with our cars when we're not in them. And that is something that we felt we wanted to change, and we wanted to give your cars a tech upgrade. And, I always say this, but starting up is a lot about finding that set of people who are passionate about the same set of things that you at the same time. And luckily it happened for us in 2015, where all of us, after IIT, spent a couple of years in different corporate roles. And we were itching to do something of our own, build something of our own. And that's how we started Carnot.
Very interesting. So this journey you've been around for 2 years now. Carnot has been around for
year and a half now.
So how much time was the process before you guys went into the whole funding space and all that, or was that something you did from the start?
No. So we've spent the first 3 months building out a proof of concept. So these were like 8-10 lab scale prototypes that we built that could be used to test out the product features and functionalities. Of course, they were like very crude prototypes, like they'd malfunction if it started raining and stuff like that. But at least they would help you experience the concept that we were promising. And obviously we also needed a lot of market validation before we could go look at raising funds. So 2 of us who look after the business and marketing, and at Carnot we spend time at car dealerships. So there's this Honda showroom at Prabhadevi that we spend close to a month at, talking to people who are buying a car, telling them about our product. And we got a really good response. We realized that 8 and 10 people who we were talking to were willing to put 7,000 rupees on the table to buy a product like this. And with that knowledge, with a lot of other marketing dipsticks that we did, we then took this to a bunch of investors who were then excited to hop on board.
Oh, fantastic. This sounds interesting. So, Urmil, are you venture funded?
We're seed funded.
Okay.
So we're backed by the founders of Freecharge, Kunal Shah and Sandeep Tandon.
Okay.
Okay, so bhari parties.
No comments.
Okay. As we have, Tushar himself has been using this product for a while now. How many months now, Tushar?
Oh, I think it's been, 3-4 months at least?
Yeah, we got it over to you a good 3 months back.
Yeah, good 3 months back. It was supposed to be with me for about a week. But I think you guys forgot about it, which I'm not complaining about.
You were happy to leave it with you.
Oh, lovely. Thank you. So my head is full of questions for you.
Sure.
And probably feature requests. So please bear with
Sure.
me. First of all, a question for you. What's that? Now, from what I understand, this is essentially, it's got the internals effectively of a common smartphone. So you've got a SIM card in there, right? So it's got data connectivity. So it's connected to the internet all the time.
Yep.
It's got a GPS chip, so it knows where it is all the time. What else? It's got an accelerometer, so it knows when it's moving and what sort of angle it's at effectively.
That's right.
Which is how I imagine you guys are figuring out whether it's being
Towing,
towed, whether it's kind of being pulled up from the front, so the angle changes, so it knows that. So it knows a bunch of things about where it is in time and space. Which is very similar to what we've got in most phones. So what's the one feature that people, you mentioned that you've spoken to a lot of people before, you know, test marketing. What's that one feature that people are excited by? Is it, for example, the fact that they can know where the car exactly is there all the time? What is that one feature?
That's right. So quite surprisingly, initially, we used to think of marketing this a lot more around the performance insights related aspect of the device. We used to place an emphasis on, hey, this is the Fitbit for your car. It'll tell you all cool things regarding your car that you didn't even know about it. But then we were very surprised to realize in time that what was overwhelmingly important to consumers was car security.
Okay.
People love their cars, especially first-time car owners. They are very possessive about their car. They want to invest in anything they can to make sure their cars are safe. And that's what our entire product offering today focuses on. This is a very easy way for you to stay connected with your car and make sure it is safe. And that entails a bunch of things. Number one being car tracking. A lot of our users are chauffeur-driven car owners, are professionals who have either their drivers taking the car or their family members driving. And for them, just knowing where the vehicle is at all times is like a very basic necessity. And we're finding that these guys are opening our app multiple times in a day. So it's driving a lot of engagement as well. Security happens to be our purchase driver as well as what people engage with the product most for.
So you are now present in most cities in India because you all are retailing on Amazon, right?
That's right. So we've got 2,000 customers literally from Kashmir to Kerala and Gujarat to Arunachal Pradesh.
Fantastic. So what next? Like you're saying, this is one step of doing it directly where you're retailing with customers through Amazon. Are you guys going to the corporate route? Are you going directly to banks, insurance companies?
Yes. So on the retail front, for the last few months, we've been retailing on Amazon and our website. We've got an exciting launch coming up at Chroma in the next week or so, where we'll be launching across all Chromas in Bombay. And on the B2B front, we already have a tie-up with ICICI Lombard, which is your leading private motor insurer. They're currently bundling our product with their insurance policy.
Fantastic. So, Tushar, what is your views on the product since you've been using it now from a consumer standpoint?
Yeah, my initial interest in this product was the amount of stuff that you can do with it. And I'm sorry if I'm being a little bit presumptuous here, Urmil, but I think there's a lot more that you can do with this device.
Absolutely.
Because right now, I've always got the app on my phone. I don't open it multiple times a day like some of your customers because I've essentially sort of exhausted what I can do with it. But I know that there's lots more that I remember you mentioning that there is a live dashboard sort of mechanism that hasn't made it into the iOS app just yet.
That's right.
Yeah, so that's going to be coming soon, which will essentially give me live stats of what I'm doing in the car, right?
Yes.
Your speed and what else?
You'll be able to see a real-time fuel economy. So basically, on that chart, every time you clutch, every time you change gears, you'll find that your fuel economy spikes because your engine is disengaged.
Right.
Every time you press the accelerator hard, you'll find that your mileage suddenly drops because your engine is the most stressed. So we're going to be, right now we're just giving you that feedback as you drive. And next we'll be building that layer on top, which will give you real-time feedback. So if we find that you're in the first or second gear and you put the accelerator down, we'll tell you that hey, you probably want to stop doing that. You're just guzzling fuel. Or if we find that you've shifted gears at the wrong time, at the wrong speed, we'll give you real-time feedback. So that's what that platform is meant to enable. But those are features that we're still building out. It's still in beta. We're testing it with a few users. It's already on Android. And we'll be launching it across iOS, I think, in another month's time.
Awesome. And Sanjeev, another thing that I noticed that could be very useful to us because we tend to drive a lot of vehicles, in course of our work. Correct me if I'm wrong, Urmil, but you can actually set up profiles for multiple cars.
That's right.
So I could take out this device and put it in, say, a test car. So recently we had the Jaguar XC with us, and it just slipped my mind, but I could have actually connected this and perhaps extracted some data about my fuel mileage because I drove it for quite a while. I drove it 200-300 kilometers. I could have sort of extracted a lot more data than just out of memory.
That's right. You could have plugged it out of whatever car you were. I think it was a Volkswagen Polo that you were using it in. You could have pushed it, plugged it out and plugged it into your Jag and just reconfigured the app because the app needs to know what car you've plugged it into. But after that, you'd have gotten all kinds of information on the Jag, including your mileage, including how much you've driven it and
how well you have. You have a rating system. I think it goes from 0 to 100.
Yes.
I
you need to be really bad to be at 0.
I'm sure.
I think it's hard to be below 60, but yeah.
And that also tells when Tushar will be able to purchase the Jaguar, the rating system.
Yeah, that's not going to happen very soon because my rating system, I'm very rarely in the 70s. So 73, 74, 75. My wife, who I, often sort of, I think it's a standard husband thing when you're sitting next to your wife driving. And I'm not trying to be gender specific here, but drivers tend to find other drivers driving a little bit hairy. But the fun fact is that she almost always has a better driving score on the Carnot app than I do. Almost always.
So she's a better driver than you.
She is. According to Carnot, she's an absolutely better driver.
Not according to Carnot. I think otherwise also.
Then she must be.
Yeah, she must be. She must be. It depends on your algorithm. I will assume you IIT boys know what you're talking about. But excuse me if I'm a little bit skeptical. But I always get like 68, 69. If I'm 73, I'm doing really, really good.
Okay.
But that's the way it is. So I'm actually looking forward to your iOS app update so I can actually get real-time updates. And of course the mileage. And like I said, Sanjeev, connecting it to multiple cars, it'll really give us a sort of a leg up in our data.
Okay, so Urmil, as I was asking you earlier, when is this coming on motorcycles?
Very soon. So we already have a concept product ready and available for use on bikes. I would be happy to have one installed in your Ducati and also another if on one of the bikes you ride.
Okay.
But it's still a good 4 months before it's going to be consumer ready.
So it's going to be similar to what is there right now with the cars, or will it be
very
different?
Similar. Very similar. So interestingly, one of the things that we've developed, it's patented tech that we developed close to 5 months back that enables the bike platform, is that we've invented a way to be able to infer all kinds of things on your bike by just simply reading your battery voltage. So all you need to do is the same platform needs to be plugged or clipped onto your battery terminals, and thereafter you'll be able to get the same set of insights that you do on your car with the current product for your bike. And you'll be able to sync up all your vehicles, your cars and your bikes on one app on your phone.
So you guys are based in Mumbai. All your tech labs, your manufacturing facilities is all in Bombay?
So our team is based in Bombay.
Okay.
We're a team of 15 in Powai. And our manufacturing happens in Chennai.
Okay.
So make in India.
So make in India completely.
Nice.
Yep.
So very interesting product. I mean, I'm looking forward to it on the bike platform. I mean, because I think bikes need it as much as cars.
Do you think you'll be able to bring the price down? Because relatively speaking, that would be an expensive buy.
Absolutely. So on bikes, we'd be priced at close to half of our current price for cars.
Okay.
And yeah, bikes is something that we're also super excited about because it's a much bigger market than cars. And more importantly, what we're also seeing is that bike owners are a lot more passionate about their bikes than car owners are about their cars. And there's also a lot more communities around bikes. So it's something we're excited about. And yeah, you should see something in 4 months.
So what about commercial vehicles? Are you planning to enter that space in the near future?
So we have a couple of pilots in the offing where we're talking to a government bus transport corporation. We're also talking to a mining company, but those are still in pilot mode.
This is fantastic. So they're going to cover all segments.
Yes. I had a self-serving question actually. So I was coming here late as usual. You guys were here, 15 minutes before me?
Half an hour before you.
Half an hour before me. So Sanjeev knows I'm almost always late. And I was thinking of excuses to make to you because you're a guest and I've called you here and you're here before me. But then
we don't matter.
Yeah, we don't really. But then I realized I'm using your device and it has GPS and it has internet.
Oh, I should have thought of that.
Yeah.
I planned my travel accordingly.
You could have known exactly where I was.
And
now this is the point where you can be extremely diplomatic if you want to about privacy.
No, so it's data is absolutely secure. So your Carnot account is very much like a Gmail account. You have your own username and password, and only you can access your own account.
Okay.
And yeah, unless you choose to share your credentials with someone, there's no way we'd be able to know where you are or what you're up to.
But in terms of aggregate data, obviously it should be fairly obvious that this is a gold mine of data, right?
That's true.
That you're collecting. So let's say you've got 1,000 people, on a very conservative note, just driving around the city with your devices. That's 1,000 data points about, say, traffic. That's how Google Maps works, right? That's how Google Maps sort of shows you data about where traffic is, and it's surprisingly accurate.
Yes.
This could only, be used in the same way, as one use case.
Yeah,
Is that something that you guys are thinking of?
Absolutely, and in fact, even richer ways. So, given that we have an accelerometer here, we can do a lot more than just gauge traffic. We can even tell you things like road quality.
Okay.
We can even map every pothole there is on the streets.
This is very
so
interesting.
Effectively, once we have enough number of vehicles and once they're driven around sufficiently, this is data that we can potentially open up to maybe enrich Google Maps data.
No, this potholes thing is very interesting because I've known someone in the past who's done this as a CSR activity. Of course, he was doing it with, I think, one of the newspapers. So they were trying to cover potholes and all. Of course, they didn't have this kind of technology. It was being done the old-fashioned way. But it got a lot of traction with people and people are really talking about it. So this is something you're going to introduce. I'll be one of the first people who will be very interested on featuring this.
I think we need to do a Rotormouth monsoon roundup.
Absolutely.
Featuring Carnot's data.
Absolutely.
So where are the biggest potholes in Mumbai?
Absolutely. Can you give that data to us right now?
Yeah, towards the end of this next couple of months, we should have a lot of data and we can catch up again, on a similar morning and maybe even help settle the debate of which of the genders is the better driver based on the data that we're gathering.
I think we're going to totally avoid that.
No, that is completely settled. Women are better drivers. 100% better drivers.
In Tushar's case, clearly.
Absolutely.
In Tushar's case or in anybody's case.
All right. Thank you, Urmil. Thank you very much for being here. And I hope you forget about your Carnot device entirely because I really enjoy using it.
Super.
Thank you so much, Urmil. It was a pleasure talking to you on the podcast and we'll hope to see you soon again.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me over.
We'll catch you after the break.
Are you confused about your future education options?
Not sure about whether you should be doing an MBA?
Or if design school is the right fit for you?
Are you worried about how you would finance your education?
Find answers to this and a lot more education-related topics on this podcast.
Hi, my name is Akhil Daswani. I'm the CEO and co-founder of OnCourse.
Hi, my name is Alisha Mashruwala. I'm the CEO and co-founder of OnCourse.
And we both are your co-hosts for the OnCourse podcast. Tune in every Monday on the IVM podcast app or any other podcast app you may like.
Welcome back. So, Tushar, how was the break?
The break was excellent.
What did you do?
We took photos with Urmil.
Why?
Why not?
Okay.
Urmil is a good-looking lad, yeah, and he's much younger than us. We end up looking better compared to a lot of people.
So when
it
we pose
rubs
with,
off basically.
yeah, so when we pose with younger people, we look better.
Basically, yeah, it rubs off.
Okay, so now we had attended another event. You remember Cars24?
Yes, one of the few events that we attended together because you're too busy for me in your glamorous industry that you're in and out of.
Which glamorous industry?
I don't know what glamorous industry, but it's very
Okay.
clear that you're avoiding me on most counts.
Actually, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I am been doing that for a while now.
Yeah,
But now that
yeah.
you've caught on, I'll have to figure out a new method.
Basically, but thankfully we went to the Cars24 event together. And you wanna explain?
Yeah, Cars24, like we both went for it. It's very interesting. Like we went for this presentation where they told us that it's a very simple thing where you get onto their website and or their app and you put down details of the car that you want to sell. And once you've done that, they give you a base price. So this is similar to what other platforms do as well. But then after that, they are like, you get to go, you book an appointment with their showroom. So once you get to the showroom, they have this whole technological checkup that they do, by which they check the quality of your paint, the quality of your tires, your engine, and then they give you a figure. And that's where the game shifts. If you want to explain how it shifts from this point on.
Yeah, so I found this to be extremely interesting and also relevant considering we just talked about Carnot. So essentially what Cars24 does is their claim is to provide you the best possible price for your car when you want to sell it as a used car. And in the best possible experience, the smoothest possible experience. And the first thing that totally struck me, fairly shocking really, because it's never been done before as far as I know, is that they will essentially give you the money for your car immediately. The way it works is you put in the details of your car, you have the basic details, how old it is, how many kilometers it's done, etc. On the website, they give you a base price or not. In my case, I don't think it gave me a base price, but you can book an
No,
appointment.
but they do give the base price. That's what
They
they
should. I did see it at
Yeah,
some
yeah,
other point.
They do.
Anyway, so you book an appointment and they have branches all over the country.
Right.
And you take it to your nearest Cars24 branch. They will check it up. They will check your car. They have an extensive checklist that they use. And they use these, like you mentioned, they use these bits of equipment that are able to get a much more objective view of what the car is like. One of those bits of equipment is an OBD scanner. So they actually connect to the OBD port of your car and extract whatever details they might need. So I assume they will be extracting the odometer reading and things like that, which I imagine an OBD port would.
But that thing would only give the basic readings from that particular period, right?
No, not just that. It will also, depending on the car and depending how that system is set up, it will also be able to, pop up things that might not have, popped up as a light.
Okay.
If the check engine light hasn't come on, but there will still be data in there that they can extract and conceivably sort of interpret for their own uses.
Right.
So they use that. They use something, a piece of equipment that actually measures the specific depth and quality of the paint.
Yeah.
So they can actually tell if the car has been repainted.
Which is very interesting.
Yeah, which is, but anyway, the point is that they want to give you a fair price for your car.
Absolutely.
And a friend of mine, also a journalist, actually had this experience where his car is in very good shape and he wants to sell it, and but it has been banged. Not his fault, but it has been banged from the past, from the rear. And there has been a little bit of crumpling.
So did he mention that when he went to sell?
He didn't mention it, but they found out.
Okay.
Because they're able to. So, not good for you if you're trying to get slip one past them. But the point is that they're trying to be as fair as possible in the price. And the way it works is once they've done their due diligence, they'll essentially give you a quote. Okay, this is what we can offer you.
Right.
If you choose to take that offer, they will essentially RTGS transfer that entire amount to you right there. So essentially, the whole process will take about an hour. And before you walk out of that Cars24 branch, you will actually have the money for your car now sold in your account, which I thought is amazing. I mean, have you ever heard of something like that?
No, not at all. And then we asked them this question, what happens to the car once it's bought by them?
Right.
So then they said that they have a network of dealers. They didn't give us the figure. They have a network of dealers where there's a live auction process that starts. So then they start auctioning off the cars that they buy. And then whoever gives them the best bid, the car is sold to that dealer.
Right.
So that's how they are, selling their inventory and doing stuff like this. And the next thing that I found very, very interesting with them is when somebody, I think you had asked them this question as to what happens is if a car comes in which has a police case on it.
Right.
Which will be the case when you're selling cars all over the country.
Right.
Or buying cars, all over the country. So they said they have their own ways of getting all these systems in place and stuff like that. But this again comes across as a very interesting platform because this is, I think, the first time that you can walk into a showroom, sell your used car, get the money immediately and not worry about transferring papers as well.
That actually, which was another surprise. I actually asked this question during the press conference, and they will actually take care of the entire paperwork hassle for you. So, for example, today my car is fully paid up. I had a loan on it.
Okay.
It's fully paid up, but I haven't removed the hypothecation tag that's on my RC card, which is essentially what is required if you want to sell the car. It needs to be free and clear in terms of title. To do this, I need to go to, my car is MH06, so it's PAIN registered. PAIN is like 75 kilometers out for me. I've been there once and it's terrible. You've got to go all the way there just to submit a signed paper and then come back, and then, that process will take whatever due course it takes. And, it's a painful thing. For me, of course, this is an extreme case. Most people will not have to go 75 kilometers out to do this. But the fact is that I don't need to do it. I can just set this up with Cars24 and I'll say, the paperwork is your hassle. I mean, I don't even need to say it. It is their hassle. That's how they do it. They take care of the paperwork end to end, and they will assure you that it is done, because, there's always the potential for the car to be bought, not transferred. It's still on your name, and then it goes and has a fatal accident, kill somebody or something. That's always, it's always on your mind. You need to have some kind of sort of liability to be taken off your hands, and these guys will do it. They will actually do it in terms of paperwork as well, which is great.
Yeah, because I think today both the things we've spoken about, as we in our earlier interview with Carnot and now with Cars24, this is very interesting how technology is being used to help people buy cars, sell cars, keep track of where their car is going, what are the problems that could come across with a car. And now they are going to introduce it with motorcycles, because I'm quite sure Cars24 going forward will also be probably purchasing old motorcycles as well, because the way the markets are going right now.
Particularly with the premium motorcycles, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, we're talking about motorcycles that have resale values that are higher than some cars.
Exactly. So I think, and they also told us that as of now, they don't have any fees attached to any of the sales. But going forward, they may think of doing that, because as they've done a survey with customers don't mind paying a small fee.
Yes, absolutely. Because, that paperwork is such a hassle to deal with. I, for one, would not have a problem paying a small fee, as long as, things are taken care of for me. And here I don't even need to do that. So it's brilliant.
This is one thing we should keep an eye out for, and at some point we should invite them over.
Yeah, I think so.
Do
you have a car that you want to sell?
As of now, no.
I for sure am going to be selling my car.
What are you planning to buy next?
I need an SUV here. I have a standard test, the Golden Retriever test. It needs to fit in the boot and it needs to be very, very
This
happy.
sounds very familiar. I've seen it somewhere.
We have used that in the past.
Yes, okay. So I think this is great. So we are looking forward to Cars24 and more such products like this in the market.
Yep.
That's it for today. We are Rotormouthing on Facebook and Twitter. Like our page, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to the podcast on the IVM Podcast app or any other podcast app that you like.
We'll catch you next time.
Yes, bye.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking. Sorry to say, but there's been a slight delay due to the apocalypse having suddenly begun. As you can see, there's death, destruction, and chaos taking place all around us. But don't you worry, food and drinks will be served shortly, and I would recommend checking out
IVM Podcasts
to get some of your favorite Indian podcasts. We'll keep you going till this whole thing blows over. Thank you.